My name is Ihuoma Azuna, and I'm here to talk about the change management screencast presentation as an IT consultant at Middleview Hospital. This presentation assumes that the recently reorganized IT department has been performing well and just last month until the change brought about by a successful implementation of the EHR solution. So, what is change? Every successful business must accommodate the effect of change. Change is an act or instance of making something different. Change is very dynamic in principle and it is very important aspect of management because it offers the essential features to control the smooth running of every project or operation. Now, change management. Change management involves both the technical side and the people side of moving from current state to future states of system, as illustrated by this diagram. There is usually a transition state between the current state and the organizational performance, which involves all emotional buildups, low stability on focused energies, conflicts, desire to return to the past, as in the case of the scenario at Middleview Hospital. Now, the summary of the situation and background of the scenario at Middleview Hospital. The situation. There was a temporary disruption at the respiratory therapy department. They couldn't chart some patient data element due to the error from the IT analyst who shared a change made to a nursing documentation with the respiratory team. After several calls to the help desk unit, the system was restored back. The background. A bedside nurse requested for a change in their nursing documentation. The IT analyst effected the change, but unknown to him and the nurse, the documentation was shared with the respiratory team, which resulted to a disruption in the respiratory therapy department. Now we're going to talk about change control versus change management. For me to create recommendations for implementing a change control process in this scenario, including change control meetings and communicating changes to end users, I will want to balance the relationship between the concept of change control and the corresponding change management. According to Schwab 2014, a change control system is a formal documented process of when and how official project documents may be changed, whereas change management aims at making the transition from documentation to application a smooth and efficient one. Recommendations for a change control. The outline here describes my recommendations and rationale for implementing a change control process in at Middleview Hospital. So, as an IT consultant at Middleview Hospital, I will recommend the following change control process to communicate changes to the end users. Number one, request for change. This includes documentation details that will help others understand what change needs to be implemented and reasons for making the request. Some of the details found in the request for change are incidents that necessitated the change, risk assessment, description of how the change will be implemented, backup plan to follow in case the change is not successful. Number two, reviewing and assessing a request for change. During this phase, it is necessary to evaluate the request based on practicality and priority and also know if the request is reasonable as well as give feedbacks related to the request. This may require the involvement of the advisory board for business justification, impact, cost, benefits, and risk associated with the changes. Number three, planning the change. This includes the cost of the change, the resources needed to complete the change, and the timeline for implementation. Number four, testing the change. It will be necessary to test the change before approval. This can help work out any problems in the procedures that had been developed. Number 6, creating a change proposal. This outlines the type of change, the priority associated with the change request, and the outcomes that could occur if the change is not made. Number 7, implementing the change. Once the change is implemented, tests are done to determine whether the desired results have been achieved. Number 8, reviewing change performance. In this process, change procedures are checked to see if they are working as expected. Records are reviewed to show whether the change was successful or failed. Closing the process. At the closure of the change process, it is necessary to ensure that the entire process is documented in a database for all stakeholders to access, after which the process is closed out. Now, references. Change management page on BMC website, www.bmc.com/guides/ITL-change-management, and Kit E 2015, Difference between Change Management and Change Leadership, retrieved. Number 3, Newman D 2016, September 29, Change Control Procedures, Information Technology Change Control. And number 4, Schwab K 2014, Information Technology Project Management, Busting Course Technology. Thank you. I hope this makes sense.